Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Janina Jeff, staff bioinformatics scientist here at Illumina. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Tashaka Cunningham. Hi, Tashaka.
Hey, Dr. Jeff. It's such an honor to be here with you.
Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about some of the work that you do?
Well, I'm a PhD molecular biologist by training, and I'm the co-founder and chief scientific officer of Polaris Genomics. We were one of the Illumina Accelerator startup companies in Cycle 7, and we work on bringing precision medicine and genomics to behavioral health diagnosis.
So tell me a little bit about your experience with the Illumina Accelerator program.
The Accelerator is a fantastic program. From the moment we started, we came to the Accelerator with the concept of looking for genetic biomarkers for mental and behavioral health.
Okay.
And we were able to capitalize on some amazing research that was done by Dr. Rachel Yehuda and Dr. Florian Holzborough, developing biomarkers for post-traumatic stress disorder. And during our time at the Accelerator, we were able to develop our lead product, which included those biomarkers as well as several hundred other biomarkers involved not only in PTSD, but major depression, bipolar disorder, as well as traumatic brain injury.
Wow.
So we've got a multifunctional product now that we think is going to really help people and be a game changer in psychiatric health.
That's amazing. And I think it's a field that we very much so need. So what are some things that you guys are excited about over at Polaris, like in the next 1 to 2 years?
Well, we're really excited to actually continue the development of our product and get through the regulatory process.
Okay, I know
And
that's not
it's
easy.
it's a challenge, but really developing the clinical evidence and utility, evidence of the utility of our product to convince the FDA this is a good thing to have out there for everybody. And then once we kind of overcome that hurdle, really getting it out there as a tool that the clinicians and providers can use to better screen and better treat patients. We really want to tailor treatment for patients because in this area, there's no really objective biomarker type of test. So unlike cancer, where you have other genetic diagnostics that are pretty well established, mental health is sort of now coming to the fore, and we're hoping to be part of that vanguard of leaders in that space.
Wow. Okay, that's exciting. Have you had any challenges? What are some of the challenges you guys have had?
Well, the hard thing about hard things, whenever you're trying to do something that's never been done
Yeah.
or that's disruptive, there's always the challenge of getting all of your data and everything together to convince the powers that be. So I think we're in that mode. But luckily, we've been getting some fantastic data and developing some amazing partnerships. One of the recent good developments for us is that we were selected as one of 30 finalists for the VA's Mission Daybreak Suicide Prevention Grand Challenge.
Oh, wow.
And so we're going to be able to apply our precision medicine tools and genomics tools to help suicide prevention for veterans. So we're really excited about that because we're a mission-driven company that's veteran-owned and founded, and we really care about our veteran and service members.
Wow, that's amazing. And I like that you are serving a very underserved population. So that's super, super exciting. I know you wear many, many hats, including being on films and you're a science superstar. Tell us a little bit about some of the community work that you're also doing.
Well, that's something that I'm very passionate about as a person of color who happens to be a scientist.
Yeah, I like that.
Recognizing my unique role in being an ambassador to communities that have been historically underrepresented, particularly African-American communities.
Yes.
And so part of my goal as just a citizen and scientist is to educate that next generation of underrepresented minority researchers. And I do that in a majority, several different ways.
Okay.
And one way that I do that is through the STEM training programs that we run in the DC area. We have one program that I run called the Future Kings and Queens of Biomedicine.
Oh, wow.
And we were so privileged and lucky that the Illumina Foundation funded a program for us to train young men and women, particularly underrepresented young men and women, how to do NGS sequencing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how old are the students?
Our youngest participants are 12 years old.
Wow.
So we start as early as 6th grade and follow them all the way through till when they graduate high school. And we've seen some tremendous results with that program. Young men and women that have never been in the lab, weren't exposed to NGS technology, learning how to do it in a way that they could actually become employees for companies like mine.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very excited about that program and very thankful for Illumina's support of it.
That is so cool. Do you have any that you can share with us?
Absolutely. And one of those 12-year-olds happens to be my son,
Oh,
who's a sixth
okay.
grader
All right.
who just made the age cut to join Future Kings and was so excited. We recently took a trip as part of our project to the Illumina Solution Center in Baltimore, Maryland, where a cohort of our kids was learning the sequencing workflow for total RNA-seq. As part of a project we were doing on COVID, COVID resistance versus COVID susceptibility that the kids came up with. And the
Wow.
aha moment came when they loaded their samples onto the sequencers and said they felt like superheroes.
Wow.
And so they were all given Illumina shirts that they had on under their lab coats, and they all opened their shirts like Superman and said, "We're genomic superheroes." So I was so fired up by that.
Oh, we're gonna need that picture. We're gonna have to flash the picture
We've
somewhere in this
got it.
interview.
Yeah.
Does it say Illumina or is there a big eye on their
It says
chest?
Illumina.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it was awesome.
That's really cool. So one of the things, you're talking about this one project, but you also do a lot of work in the community. And one of the things I always look up to you for is how you've been able to really engage with the Black community and really create this safe space, being transparent and really educating the community. I know you do a lot of that.
Right, and for me, I really want to make it not only practical, but something that our people, the African American population, really wants to engage in. And we've talked a lot about trust and lack of trust for certain communities.
Yeah.
Well, my organization, it's called the Faith-Based Genetic Research Institute. We're a 501c3 nonprofit that works in communities, particularly in churches, to reach out to historically underrepresented African Americans where they are. Every Sunday, millions of African Americans go to church. And some of the most trusted voices in the African American community are the clergy and pastors and deacons, of which I happen to be a deacon. So
You do everything.
I was raised as a good Christian young man. So what I love about this program is that people feel safe in a space to learn about what genetics and genomics is and why it's important to them. Scientists like myself and genetic counselors who happen to be people of color, to really engage with the community and naturally establish those bonds of trust that we can build on. And we've seen some amazing results from that, where we've gone, pre-pandemic, we had an event at my church where we had hundreds of people on a Saturday morning in our church sanctuary learning about genomics, precision medicine, and health. And then afterwards, I had a line of at least 100 of them that wanted to give me their samples right there.
Wow.
So I've seen the results of that approach, and I'm hoping that we can kind of scale it and grow it and make it available throughout all of these communities where you have a lot of African Americans.
That is amazing. What are some of the key things you've liked about the conference?
I love Illumina conferences, and part of the reason I do is because there's always something of an amazing surprise at each one I've been to. This surprise, having President Obama as the opening keynote,
Yes.
really kind of setting the stage, and then your CEO, Francis D'Souza, firing us up, really encouraging us to do everything we can to use genomics to treat and cure diseases. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning. And I share those values with Illumina. My company shares those values. And we're just really happy to have such a great partnership that will continue into the future.
That is so amazing. All right, last question, I promise. In the next 20 years in genomics, what is the thing you're most excited about?
Well, I'm most excited about the cost of sequencing coming down,
Yes.
which Illumina is driving, that's going to democratize access and making sure that communities around the world can really participate. So I'm looking forward to the democratization of genomics and access to genomics and precision medicine, and then the data and the knowledge we're going to gain from that.
Yes.
As we accomplish our goal of getting a more diverse and representative data set that's representative of all of us.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. I think we can do it. It's going to take a lot of hard work to convince some communities that still we need to build trust with. But I believe if we all work together and we all learn to be advocates and stay focused on that mission,
Yeah.
We'll accomplish the goal.
Well, a huge thank you to you and all the work that you've been doing because it plays a big part in how we get to that end goal. So thank you to Shaka for talking to us and sharing all of your knowledge and telling us all the great, amazing things that you do. We really, really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, and thank you for being one of my heroes and all the great work that you're doing in Illumina and beyond.
Oh, thank you.